All right, we're live once again. See if there's another. Let's check if it's good on YouTube. Let's check if it's good on YouTube. Let's see if we're good to go. Let's see if we're good to go. Let's see if we're good to go. All right, we're fine. All right, so once again, just coming back with another live lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakahakodash. All praises, glory, and due unto Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai. And also double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well and that do teach well and that have taught me this truth. And shalom to you, sincere brothers that are in the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth in sincerity and risking your lives to do so. So this is going to be just various topics tonight. It's a little bit late, but hopefully some people tune in. So just various topics. And as always, I put the links in the description for anybody that wants to look up the articles themselves and to do their own study. So it's there, right? So here, we're going to start off. Let me just share the screen. Okay, so here's the first one. And this is just a tweet from this gentleman, and this is actual footage at the White House. And, it just shows people have no respect for the poor. People don't care about poor people or homeless people in general. You see how society is falling apart and how the love of many shall wax cold. Right, so I'm just going to play the clip here. Hopefully I can find it. So Lakia, I want to actually get the clip. My bad, I have to just lost the clip here. Give me 1 second. Just lost the clip. I just had the clip and just got rid of it. Okay, I want to view it. Okay, hold on. I want to see the clip. Okay, give me 1 second. I gotta go back and get the clip now. Give me 1 second. I don't know, I just had it. It won't let me play it. All right. Bear with me. I have to find it. Okay. Okay, let me just see the name. Bear with me 1 second. I have to just find it. All right. One second here, guys. I was just looking at it earlier. Okay, here it is. Oh, I guess I can't play it. Oh, give me 1 minute. Okay, that's what I did before. All right, it's lucky, guys. I don't know what happened there. I don't know what happened. Okay, here we go. So without further ado, here it is. It just shows you the love of many shall wax cold, and people just don't give a damn. All right.
So you want America to send more money to Ukraine? What about this homeless man? My wife's boyfriend I need help.
Don't you think he needs help?
I need help.
This is a rally in support of Ukraine. I attend.
Yeah, but what about the homeless people right here in
We
America?
have problems in America.
Don't you think $100 billion to
USA
Ukraine is a
first.
lot?
In this case, I'm simply asking this of Congress. Are you asking Congress for this?
Yeah, I think they should help the homeless instead of giving hundreds of billions of dollars to Ukraine.
Putin has been threatening to attack other countries, including the United States.
Do you have any money? Do you want to give him any money? You don't want to give him any money?
Give me some of that Ukraine money.
I'm someone who attends these rallies every day.
But he's struggling. He's struggling right now. He's actually struggling.
Right.
He's probably doing, the homeless problem is worse here in America than it is in Ukraine.
That's because the Ukraine's being actively bombarded by Russia, which means that in many cases, if people lose their house, it is because the Russians blew up there.
Yeah, but he doesn't have a house. What about the people here in America that don't have a house? We don't want. That's what I'm saying. We don't want to. We don't want to give it all to the Ukraine. We have homeless people here, right here, Dontarius. Citizen, he's struggling. This is my wife's boyfriend, Dontarius.
I live in Penn City down the block.
You don't think it's important that we help him?
Yeah. Help home first. USA, USA, USA.
Mom, don't you guys think we should help American citizens? Dontarius, they don't want to help you. They don't.
Help America first.
Okay, Dontarius.
You're not touching me.
Do you have any money for him? Guys, they want to give more money to the Ukraine than America. It's sad.
Yeah, man, and that's what you see. You know, the guy who we was talking to with the flag, he didn't even want to admit that this guy needs somebody too. There's obviously a big problem when it comes to poverty in the United States, but he didn't even want to admit that. America has its own problems. Why don't you take care of your people that are at home? Why are you going to give all your money to Ukraine? He made some points. This guy doesn't even have a house. And I believe that's a so-called Jake anyway. So-called. But it just shows you the hypocrisy and how people really are. People don't really give a shit. But that's okay, man. It is what it is. And I have a precept here. Matthew 24:12, and because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. He could have just simply said, yeah, I agree that homeless people need help. Sure, here's something for your cause. Or he could have just said, I agree, but as of right now, we're not. This is actually a rally just for Ukraine only, and maybe later on we'll give you something. You can't even muster that up. It just shows you how people think out here. People just don't give a shit. And when it comes to you tribes, you're left out. And I see that over here in Canada, man. I saw that with the whole Ukraine thing. For the refugees, they built new homes, nice homes right down the street from me. Guess who's inhabiting them or living in them? These Ukrainians, man. These refugees, right? Get better home, get a nicer house than you. Fully renovated, everything. But you've been living here longer. You've been paying taxes. You've been getting shit on, and that's just how they treat That's how they treat you, because you know why? They're Edomites, man. That's why they're getting that stuff. So Matthew 24:12, and because iniquity shall abound, and what is iniquity? You being in the condition without having the law. It's the point now where it's second nature to sin, and people don't really care or realize that they're actually breaking the laws of the Heavenly Father. And it's so abound out here. It's so abound. It's like drinking water almost. Breaking the laws, committing adultery, going into idolatry, murdering, right? It's just abound, man. The love of many shall wax cold, and that's a result. Once you see wickedness at an all-time high, and that it's spread out everywhere, that's when the morals of the people go down and the love of the people go down. And really, the love is you keeping the commandments. There is no love out here because nobody gives a shit about keeping the commandments. That's why Yahweh Shai said, if you love me, keep my commandments. That's real love. And if you keep the commandments, man, you're going to be charitable. You're going to try and live peaceably with all men. You're going to do the right things. But that's not happening right now, and that's why everybody's so cold-hearted. Cold-hearted, man. This guy didn't even give a shit. His face, look at that. Oh, look at this guy. He's dirty. Another African American. He snug up his face. Look at his face, man. He don't give a shit. But he has to act a certain way. He has to be somewhat cordial because he's on camera. Because if he talks a certain way, it can go viral. Which he was smart to keep his mouth shut, right? But that's what it is out here. All right, so here we go. Here's another one. Check this out. This is on Twitter, Clown World. This is Los Angeles, or Los Angeles, and this is the tweet. So I'm gonna play from the beginning.
You know what? This is getting absolutely ridiculous. This is how he got a whole house with a security system and a front door. A whole house on the sidewalk. That is a studio apartment. What?
So that's what's going on in LA or California, whatever, but primarily LA and also Skid Row. That's a block dedicated to homelessness, and I've been seeing this a lot lately with homeless people. They're just building houses on the side of the street, right on the sidewalk, and I don't know if that works. By the way, there is a security system, but I don't know if that works. As you can see here, not that it matters. That's a security system right here. If you could see, I hope you could see on my screen. I'm pointing at it. Whatever. It's right here in the middle of the door, but it's a security system. You know what, man? You might as well just give these homeless guys funding. Why not just give them public housing, man, and just let them live for free? Like, they're that innovative to make a house, But they would rather have people living like this than actually giving them something. It's ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous out here. You know what? You want this guy in times of trouble. You want a person like this. The guy that's on edge right now, you're going to want him in that great day of tribulation. You don't want the guy that's just thriving out here because he's going to fall apart. You want the guy that's on edge. And that's why, brothers, man, even though you actually, I'm just quoting a Psalm of King David. He said, "Give me neither poverty nor riches." You're going to be somewhat living on the edge too, some brothers, right? But you're not going to be at the brink of homelessness. But the Lord is keeping you that way so you can survive hard times, right? And the men of the Lord, man, they're the ones that are on edge because they see things before it happens. You want a guy like that in times of trouble to be with you because he's going to be more level-headed. He's going to understand that things aren't going the way it should, and he'll be able to keep himself together. But you people that have everything now, you're going to all fall apart, right? I believe it says, "Woe to them that are rich." I believe it says that. Let me get that now. See, that are rich. Let's see. Yeah, here we go. This is actually, let me get Luke chapter 6, verse 23. "Rejoice ye in that day and leap for joy, for behold, your reward is great in heaven." And that's right, because we want spiritual riches. And that's what we sacrifice on this side. We sacrifice the carnal stuff so we can get the spiritual riches. Pursuing to, Matthew chapter 6, verse 18 on down. And the reward is great in heaven. We're going to get the kingdom of heaven and the things that come with it. And by the way, the kingdom of heaven is not just going to reside on the planet Earth. Pursuing to, "For my Father's house there are many mansions." That's what Yahushua said, right? So there's going to be different planets, different solar systems, different universes that we're going to enjoy. And those universes and different planets, they come with delicacies, pleasures. And we're going to be able to enjoy it because we have the laws written in our hearts and our minds. For in the like manner did their fathers unto the prophets. But woe unto you that are rich, for ye have received their consolation. And yeah, woe unto you that have sold out on this side, and woe to you that are rich on this side. And especially you rich people that don't want to do anything for the poor, especially of Israel. Got a lot of men with money too, and they don't want to help anybody. Got a lot of men that are well off, taken care of. They have it. They have, they probably have 2 cars, have a big house. They have a wife, they have a kid, but they don't want to give back to the Lord's ministry. You have a lot of guys like that too who are well off and rich, right? Woe unto you if you're not sincere. You got a lot of greedy dudes out here, and also people in the world. But for ye have received your consolation. A consolation is really a runner-up prize. You didn't really get the first prize, and this really applies to our people that sold out. They sold out for crumbs. They got a consolation. That's why Kanye said in one of his songs, I sold my soul to the devil. It was a happy meal, but it was a crappy deal, right? So it just shows you he didn't get the first prize. He got the consolation, and he had to sell his soul for that, right? But I just wanted to bring that out. But woe unto you that are rich, and there's an exclamation point there. Woe unto you. Woe is destruction. Woe unto you. All right, so I brought that out a little. Now I just want to go into Luke chapter 16 and 19, because this goes into the rich man and Lazarus. The rich man is you Edomites, and Lazarus represents Israel. It's a parable, right? This is what the Lord was speaking of. So Luke chapter 16 and 19, there was a certain rich man, which was clothed in purple and fine linen. Yeah, and purple is a color of royalty and a color of status. Fine linen, probably silk clothes, silk clothing, soft garments. You Edomites, you live like that, pursuant to your blessing. In Genesis chapter, I believe 27, it goes into the blessing. If I remember, can't remember where it is, what chapter, but it says the fatness of the earth and the dew of heaven. Right, you're that rich man, right? So you're clothed. And you know what? Our people, they try to imitate this. That's why you got. I remember Dipset a while back. That old group back in the day. It was the Purple City Bird Gang. Used to call themselves Purple City Bird Gang. Which really all goes back to Masonry, right? When you look at how they were dressed and how they were promoting their album, but Purple City Bird Gang. Right, they try to imitate that, and they can. It kind of looks like they are the rich man that's in charge by the way they dress. But I'm just saying, man, our people, they try to look like this. And fared sumptuously every day. That's right, ate good every day. You have a lot of these Edomites out here. They're able to have breakfast in China, and then for lunchtime, they can fly to Taiwan. And then for dinner time, they can fly to Russia. I'm just using that as an example. You got a lot of rich people out here that fared sumptuously every day. They live like that, right? Eating the best of the best, smoking the best cigars, which you shouldn't be smoking. Drinking the finest of finest wines and liquors. Fared sumptuously every day. And there was a certain beggar named Lazarus, which was laid at his gate full of sores. That's right. And that's talking about you tribes, man. And that represents this guy. If he's an Israelite in the spirit, right? Represents this guy. Lying at the gate. Aren't you at the White House? Washington, D.C.? You're at the big house. That guy's lying at the gate. Right? The president doesn't give a shit about him. Just lying right there, and he's full of sores. So he's got a band-aid on his head. That's spiritual. He's cut up. Right? That's you tribes, man. Full of sores, band-aids, sores on your head, cocos on your head, looking like shit. Right? That's you. So, verse 21, and desiring to be fed with the crumbs which fell from the rich man's table. That's right, the crumbs. Not a whole meal, just crumbs. When you have a sandwich with crusty bread and some meat and shit. And you know when you eat the sandwich and you know little crumbs fall out your mouth because you're crunching into the bread, that's what he wanted. That's how hungry he was. Right? And that's what you tribes get, crumbs. You don't get a real meal. You get crumbs, man. Leftovers. Right? And designed to be fed with the crumbs which fell from the rich man's table. You know, that's right. And that's a majority of people. They're trying to be fed by the crumbs of the so-called from the so-called white man's table. That's why they take these deals, they sell out, they get popped in their ass. They do all types of abominable things to get that position or to get some little money, get $1 million when they're making billions and billions of dollars off of your label. Well, not your label, I mean your talent, Salakia. Your talent, right? You have to do stupid shit to be on their label. You have to do stupid shit to get into the NBA. You have to do stupid shit to get into the NFL. You have to do stupid shit to get employed, right? Stupid shit. And you lose your humanity, you lose your dignity doing it. Stupid. That's crumbs. Okay? Crumbs. So it says here, moreover, the dogs came and licked his sores. And who are the dogs, man? You heathens, man. You dogs, heathens, man. Licking his swords, you know, forwarding the affliction. Yeah, you know, you got these entrepreneurs, man. They come over here. Not entrepreneurs, I mean these heathen nations, right? They come over here with nothing in their pocket. And then they're able to have a business because they're given grants and loans by the government. Meanwhile, Jake has been living here for fucking hundreds of years, and they're unable to get loans. Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Allen. You know what? Even though you have good credit, you have no assets. So therefore, I have to decline you from having a loan. You know, that's the type of shit they use. Even if you have good credit and you're a Jake, they'll make up some shit just so you can't get the loan. But these people, they'll come with like fucking $700 in their pocket, then they'll get funded by these damn devils, man. Right? And then they go in your neighborhood, they build up these convenience stores, those cheap ass gas stations, and then oppress you, man. Sell you pork. Right? I see that shit all the time, man. These gas stations, Elam owns it. How the fuck did Elam own all that shit? All these 7-Elevens, man. You got Elam and you got Arabs owning that shit. No talent. No fucking talent whatsoever, right? But that's the curses. That's the curses, man. Now I got another little chart here just to prove that, right? And wokeness. This chart really obliterates the woke narrative about race in America. Median household income in the United States by ethnic group. Indian Americans, 100,000, right? So they're on high up over you. Filipino Americans, Taiwanese Americans, Sri Lankan, Japanese Americans, and the list goes on. All the heathens, but who's at the bottom? Latinos and African Americans. You're always at the fucking bottom. And that's the curses, man. That's the curses. So I'm not making this up. This is the percentage right here. These are stats. And I'm not blowing smoke in your ass. That's an actual chart. This is the census, right? Look it up. But they're on top. You're at the bottom. So what I'm saying is right. And they're licking the sores. They're licking your sores, Lazarus, which is you tribes. They're licking your sores. Let me get a precept real quick. Let's get Deuteronomy, because that's the curses. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 43. The stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low. That's right. They're higher than you. And they wear it on their shoulder. They wear it on their, they wear it, man. They show you that they're higher than you. When you come around them, they give you a dirty look. Oh, look at this nigga. He's been here so long. I just came here like 2 generations ago, and I'm already a millionaire. Look at this nigga. Why is he such a bum? No such thing as white supremacy. That's the type of shit they think of, man. Right? But you're cursed, Jake. And that's why this happens. You're cursed. You're fucking cursed. And you Jakes, man, need to get it through your thick freaking skulls, man. You're cursed. And the Lord cursed you. You know why? Because you were rebellious. You were a witch and a warlock. You went against the covenant. You broke the covenant. That was a serious covenant. That's an ultimatum. When you broke it, you got the curses, and now you look terrible. And the stats don't lie, man. I'm just the messenger. I'm just telling you the truth. Verse 44, he shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail. That's right. They don't want anything from you, Jakes, man. What could this guy do for me? You know, they look at you when you come around to them. What do you got for me? Nothing. You know, nothing. That's how they look at you. And when you do accomplish something, they don't give a shit. And I hate, and I freaking hate, man. I hate when Jake always tries to say, support black businesses, support this, support that. You know what? The heathens, they just do it. Why can't you tribes just do it? Instead of talking about it, just do it. Stop fucking talking about you're going to do good. Just fucking do it. Just fucking do it, man. You know? But like I said earlier, that's the curses. That's just me being frustrated. That's just me a little frustrated. You know, I'm just frustrated. You know, when I hear Jake talk like that, because I understand, I know the answer and I know the solution. But I can't talk like that to Jake, or they want to fight me. You know, they want to fight me, slash my tires, stab me up, probably even shoot me. You know, a lot of people want to see me dead. And I don't give a shit, man. And Yah Bashim Yosha Shalak Rayim to you. You know? Shalak Rayim. But yeah, man, that's facts. Okay? So verse 16, desiring to be verse 22. Luke 16 and 22, it says, and it came to pass that the beggar died and was carried by the angels into Abraham's bosom. The rich man also died and was buried. And in hell he lift up his eyes, being in torments, and seeth Abraham afar off, and Lazarus in his bosom. And he cried and said, Father Abraham, have mercy on me, and send Lazarus, that he may dip the tip of his finger in water, and cool my tongue, for I am tormented in his flame. But Abraham said, Son, remember that thou in thy lifetime receivest thou thy good things, and likewise Lazarus evil things. But now he is comforted, and thou art tormented. You know? And ultimately, we're not going to always be in this situation. I just want to say that. You know, there's going to be a turning around point. You know, we're going to catch hell over here. We're going to experience evil times, but we're going to get the things that we desire to our heart's content in the kingdom. Blessings upon blessings. All right. So anyways, I'm done with that. I don't need that anymore. Let's get some more precepts. Proverbs chapter 29, verse 7, the righteous considereth the cause of the poor, but the wicked regardeth not to know it. That's right. And only the righteous really care about the poor, right? You know, the righteous, you know, they're concerned and they're very cognizant of the afflictions of the needy. But in this society, you don't see that. The wicked don't regard it, and they don't want to know. They don't want to show this. That's why they're hoping to clean up Skid Row and kick all those homeless people out. Right? They don't want people to know how this place is bad with so many homeless people out here. They don't care. Read it again. The righteous considereth the cause of the poor, and Yahushua, he considered the cause of the poor, and he cursed a lot of people out for not giving to the poor. Right? A lot of righteous kings. You know, they were very cognizant of the afflictions of the needy. They cared. And the prophet cares. They consider the cause of the poor. Why? Because they want to give them the word. They want to give them the word and make them rich with the truth. Right? So, yeah, but the wicked regardeth not to know it. There you go. Let's get another one. This is Proverbs chapter 21, verse 13. Whoso stoppeth his ears at the cry of the poor, he also shall cry himself, but shall not be heard. That's right. I think of James, the 5th chapter, when I read this precept. Woe unto you, rich men. Rich, you know, you're going to howl in that day. Howl unto you, you know, you're going to howl for your riches, because you're going to lose your riches. And guess what? Nobody's going to hear you. Because riches are translated from one kingdom to another. And you're about to lose all your riches, Esau. and you other nations, you're going to lose all your riches. You're going to lose it. Matter of fact, let's get James, the 5th chapter. Let's just read it real quick. James 5. James 5. James 5. Go to now, ye rich men, weep and howl, for your misery shall come upon you. Your riches are corrupted, and your garments are moth-eaten. Your gold and silver is cankered, and the rust of them shall be a witness against you, and shall eat your flesh as it were fire. You have heaped treasures together for the last days. That's right, you did. And it's all your riches were corrupted, your garments are moth-eaten, and now you're howling, because now miseries are going to befall upon you. Because, in the beginning, earlier on, you were stepping on people's toe, having a hand, putting your hands in their pocket, taking everything they have, taking their resources, their riches, and oppressing them. So now you're going to be judged for that. Now miseries are going to befall on you, especially when the Lord comes back, throws you into slavery. So yeah, that's all I want from there. All right. Yeah. We already read that. Luke, we already read that. So now let's move on a little. Yeah, we already read that. Yeah, and this is important here. This is this is the result of the people who came up against the Brazilian, that Brazilian protest that just happened recently, last Sunday. A lot of those people that were involved in it, they were detained, put in a concentration camp or a jail, and they were they were given the what without their consent, right? So now this is showing that. So scammers arrested in Brasilia are taken to cells against what and received hygiene kit. So I'll read a little bit and get some precepts, because this is also going to apply to you individuals that go against this place, and also you tribes that don't want to take the CHIP. You'll be thrown in a concentration camp against your will. You'll be inoculated against your will. I don't want to say the V word. I don't want to say the C word, because I might get strike. So so it may sound funny how I'm saying it, but yeah, that's what's going to happen to you. So it says here, about 700 Bolsonaris coup plotters arrested for involvement in acts of invasion and depredation of public buildings and Praça dos Três Poderes, Sunday the 8th, which is last week, began to be taken to their cells. The Estado obtained details about the process of screening the accused. Both the men sent to the Papuro Provisional Detention Center and the woman sent to the same structure at Colimia received upon arrival at the prisons a rolled up mattress to sleep on. In addition, they received a uniform and a hygiene kit containing soap, toothpaste, and a brush. And you'll be lucky in that day to get those things, especially you tribes. You'll be lucky to get those things, right? You'll be lucky, because they're not going to give a shit about your rights in that day, in that time of trouble, right? Because they have a short time, right? And he's going to show your horns. He's going to come down with great wrath. These devils. So you're going to be lucky you get a hygiene kit. You women, man, that are on your monthly, you're going to luckily to get some pads or a tampon. A lot of you women in the day of trouble, man, you're not going to be at ease. Especially you wicked women of the tribes, man. You're not going to be at ease. You're going to be smelly. You're going to be funky looking. Well, funky smelling and ugly looking. You won't be able to shave. Wash your dirty armpits. Wash your box. Wash your dirty ass. Right? You won't be able to shave. Cut them hair. And then we're going to see how really ugly you're going to get in that day. Right? A lot of these women look ugly, man, if they don't shave for a couple days, man. All the makeup kits, you ain't going to get that. You ain't going to get that shit. So in addition, they received a uniform and a hygiene kit containing soap, toothpaste, and a brush. And in the case of women, pads were also made available. That's right. Cells at Papuro papuda, are equipped with indoor bathrooms and concrete beds to prevent artifacts from being assembled. The cells have different sizes, therefore, each received a different number of detainees. Inside each of the cells, there is a bathroom available. The beds are made of concrete without any artifacts that can be removed. Yeah, so they don't make weapons and stuff. That's what they mean, I believe. Bolsonarist prisoners are separated from other prisoners. That's right. So you're a special type of prisoner, right? Because you're an anarchist now. Just like in the time of Daniel. Let's get the account. You know, they gave Daniel and Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego, you know, they had top guards around them. They weren't treated like an ordinary prisoner, right? They weren't treated like an ordinary prisoner. You know, they heated the furnace 7 times more, hotter than it was before, right? So let's get that. What was it? Guards? Hold on. I think it was Daniel 3. Yeah, this was the case. So let me get I might jump around a bit though. All right, so this is Daniel 3 and 13. Then Nebuchadnezzar in his rage and fury commanded to bring Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, 3 holy children. Then they brought these men before the king. Nebuchadnezzar spake and said unto them, Is it true, O Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego? Do not ye serve my powers, nor worship the golden image which I have set up. So they don't serve the damn demons, and they ain't going to worship an idol or an image. So they don't do that. And he asked them, Now if ye be ready, that at what time ye hear the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, and dulcimer, and all kinds of music, ye fall down and worship the image which I have made Salakia. Well, but if ye worship not, ye shall be cast the same hour into the midst of a burning fiery furnace. And who is that God that shall deliver you out of my hand? So they're tempting the Lord. So they're mocking the Lord too. You know, mocking their power. All right. And that's what they're going to do to you in the time of trouble, when you know, when it boils down to you serving Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. They're going to mock you, belittle you, tell you that your God doesn't exist. They're going to hurt you, put chains on you, shackle you up like an animal, talk shit, right? Try and gaslight you. You know, gaslight you, you know, mind fuck you, basically. Are you ready for that? A lot of men can't handle mind games now. What happens when it comes down to your salvation in that time, when the enemy comes against you? A lot of other men have problem with brothers talking and doing all these other things, right? But you can't handle certain brothers correcting you and rebuking you and telling you all that stuff. But what happens when you're confronted with things like this? You know, a lot of men don't understand what they're fucking involved in, man. A lot of men don't understand what they're fucking involved in. Playing games out here, right? This truth is dead serious, right? Dead serious. So anyways, let's move on. So verse 17, I'm going to jump around like I said. If it be so, our power whom we serve is able to deliver us from the burning fiery furnace, and he will deliver us out of thine hand, O king. And that's how you got to be. You got to be in that spirit, and you got to tell the king that. When these people come up against you, especially when all the odds are against you, you got to still proclaim that the Lord is going to do his work. And that takes faith, right? Isaiah 33 and I believe it's 33 and 6. For wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times and the strength of thy salvation, right? So that's the type of stuff you're going to be saying in that day if the Lord puts a spirit on you, right? You're going to die manfully. Verse 18, but if not, be it known unto thee, O king, that we will not serve thy powers, nor worship the golden image which thou hast set up. Then Nebuchadnezzar, full of fury, and the form of his visage changed. So he got even more mad. You know, probably, you know, he had a big beard, probably drool coming out of his mouth when he was talking too, yelling and shit, right? he was just cheesy, a shit face, right? Meshach and Abednego, therefore he spake and commanded that they should heat the furnace 17 times more than it was wont to be heated, right? So they weren't ordinary prisoners now, and the furnace got heated up 7 times more. It was hotter. That was hotter. So they weren't ordinary prisoners, guys. They weren't ordinary prisoners, right? Verse 20, and he commanded the most mighty men that were in his army to bind Shadrach. So these are the most mighty men now to shackle him. So they got strong men. They weren't ordinary soldiers or ordinary guards. They were strong men, so big diesel, with big muscles, man, top of muscles, big and D's, right? Can just kill a man. That were in his army to bind Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and to cast them into the burning fiery furnace. Then these men were bound in their coats, their hoisten, and their hats, and their other garments, and were cast into the midst of the burning fiery furnace. Yeah, there you go. So they weren't treated like ordinary prisoners, and that's going to happen to you, Jakes, and that day. And you know, this whole situation here reminded me of that. And that's why they separated the other prisoners. You know, you're going to be separated for your beliefs in that day, you tribes. All right? And some of you brothers, you're going to get caught up in this too. You're going to be separated. Hey, Elder Apostle Tahar, he made a point about how, you know, he was separated from other brothers when they got locked up for, I believe, going out on the highways. It was for the truth. And he was put in isolation, but all the other brothers, they were there with each other, right? But he was by himself. So even among the righteous too, you're going to be separated. Some of your punishments are going to be different. Some of the things that you're going to go through is different. You know, it's not going to all be the same. Some are going to be tested more than others in certain situations, right? Some will escape prison, some might not. Some will stay in there longer. So I'm just using that as an example, right? You know, so that's what's going to happen. You're going to be separated from normal prisoners and also other brothers too. So it says here, inside the jail, no cell phone access. All were collected. Upon arriving at the prison, the scammers also went through a medical screening process. A task force was set up to carry out tests on people, them against diseases such as were necessary, and take note of those who have some type of comorbidity, or take some regulated medication. Everyone will be entitled to sunbathe once a day. So they had to take this. They were given that, right? They were given this against their will because they were locked up. They were in the states. They're basically state property. Now, if you're state property, they can do whatever they want to you if you're a criminal. You don't have the option to not take this, right? So what's going to happen when the CHIP comes, right? CHIP, you know, when you're locked up. It's going to be an ultimate. You either take it or you don't. And if you don't, you get put to death, right? So you're going to have to deny it. So, yeah, that's all I want from here. Now let's get Zechariah chapter 14:1, and the subtitle says, "The Most High will battle Jerusalem's foes. Behold, the day of Yahweh cometh, and thy spoils shall be divided in the midst of thee. For I will gather all nations against Jerusalem to battle, and the city shall be taken, and the houses rifled, and the woman ravished." So that's going to happen to you Israelites. And that's a form of, that's going to happen today as well. When these foreign troops come over here and invade this land, when there's no government to defend you, right? Or if you go against the government, this could possibly happen to you if you're seen as a threat, right? All right, so it says the city shall be taken. So if the city's taken, that means it's under foreign occupation. So that means they pretty much are dividing up the city, putting up garrisons, putting up blocks, controlling it. So that means they're going to probably most likely throw people in jail, a prison house, concentration camp, And the houses rifled, so they were ransacked, invaded. Houses were invaded, probably burnt down, which will most likely happen again. And the woman ravished. That's right. You know, when other nations invade, and if they're successful, women get raped. That's just how it is. A lot of women are going to get raped. So a lot of you women, man, that like to ride the cock carousel, that like to sleep around and be hoes on purpose, and think and don't give a shit, that are very careless. Hey, guess what? You're going to ride the cock carousel in that day. You're going to get gangbanged. You're going to get raped. You know, all types of nasty shit popped in the ass. Yeah, because these people out here are nasty. Right? Them soldiers are disgusting, man. Some of them are disgusting. Right? Oh yeah. You can go into the, I believe it was called the Hellstorm rapes. Back in after World War II, I believe, when the Russian army invaded. Well, they were in Germany and they started going against female German citizens. That included old women, mothers, little girls, young women. They went all out. They started doing a lot of messed up shit to them Germans, man. Just go look at the history. They were shoving everything that they could find up a woman's behind or her private parts, man. Her anus and her vagina, right? It was disgusting. So them troops, man, that invade this place, they ain't gonna have mercy on you. Plus they're horny. And plus, they have generals. They have to follow orders. You might have a sick general that's over you, a cruel general, rape every woman in sight, and that's a form of ethnic cleansing. They might do that shit. Let me see if I can find that. The Hellstorm rapes. I think it's the Hellstorm rapes. All right. I might have it wrong. Germany. Yeah, that's what it's called. A rule of Thomas Goodrich Hellstorm. Death of Nazi Germany between 1944 and 1947. Hellstorm, the rape of Germany. That's right. You can watch it here. Yeah, well, of course, they're going to remove it. It is offensive, right? But you can find it. There's history on this. A documentary called Hellstorm claims to present the truth, right, or true. So it says some say that these atrocities were in retaliation against those that the Germans had carried out in the years before, right? So the rape of Berlin, yeah. So they came, especially the Red Army, they came in, started raping the women, right? And this was out of revenge, but they did some very wicked things to those women, man. And they shot any man that was able, that was able and that was trying to protect those women from being raped. They shot every young. A lot of young men are gonna die. So you Captain Save-A-Hose, man. You Captain Save-A-Hose, you're gonna die too. You know, you Captain Save-A-Hose, you men out there that like to box worship pussy, you guys are gonna get killed too in that day. And good. So anyway, you could go look that up yourself. So it says here, and half of the city shall go forth into captivity. That's right, into concentration camps. And the residue of the people shall not be cut off from the city. Okay, there you go. So that's what I want to bring out. That's concentration camps, man. And you know, you're going to be subject to punishment. Your rights are going to be taken away. Two tribes. So this is 2 Corinthians chapter 2 and 11. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. You know, we use this to bring out, to prove that the chip exists, you know, the MOTB. But there are a lot of devices that are out there to break you, and you shouldn't be ignorant of them. And a device is throwing you into a concentration camp. That's really to break your will, break your spirit, and to break your faith. Because them concentration camps, man, they're set up for torture. So you don't believe in Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. That's why it says here, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his device. And you shouldn't be ignorant by now. You shouldn't be ignorant about the devices that these devils have out here. You shouldn't be ignorant. You should be in tune to what's going on. All right? You should be in tune. What's the devices? I believe that goes into an evil intent. Nomea, right? a mental perception, thought, an evil purpose. That's right. Hey, and these things, man, they're set up for an evil purpose. Them concentration camps, that's an evil purpose, man. Gonna put you in guillotines, gonna have torture chambers, chip off all your fingernails and toenails, throw salt on them, and stab paper clip edgings on in your nails, and then light them on fire. You know, they're gonna torture you, man. They're gonna have some evil things, you know, that are set up for you. So that which thinks, the mind, thoughts, or purposes, and you know, they thought this all out, they planned it all out, and it's all evil. It's all evil. All right, so this is Jeremiah chapter 15. Yeah, let's start at 1. Judgment must come. That's right. That's right, Heavenly Father. That's right, Yahweh Shemosha. Judgment must come, and you are the judge. All right? You are the judge, and people are going to know that in that day. Jeremiah 15:1, that's why the scripture says, all his ways are judgment. All his ways. Jeremiah 15 verse 1, then saith Yahweh unto me, though Moses and Samuel stood before me, yet my mind could not be towards this people. Because they were righteous men. Especially Moses. He was a very weak man. A meek man, not weak man, a meek man. One of the meekest men on all the earth. He had a very humble heart. Same as Samuel, right? They were good in the sight of the Lord. Yet my mind could not be toward this people. Yeah, these people suck. And which people is he talking about? You Israelites. You suck. Right? You suck. Cast them out of my sight and let them go forth. That's why I don't want anything to do with them. I don't want to have anything to do with them, man. And it shall come to pass, if they say unto thee, whither shall we go forth? Then thou shalt tell them, thus saith Yahweh, such as are for death to death, and such as are for the sword to the sword, and such as are for the famine to the famine, and such as are for the captivity to the captivity. So, you know, a lot of you are set up, 2/3 to be exact. You're set up just for death. You're set up to die by the sword. You're set up to be famished. You're set up to go hungry, to die from starvation, to commit cannibalistic acts. And some of you are just set up to go into captivity, slavery, concentration camps. That's a form of captivity. So that judgment is set up for our people, right? It's set up out here. It's set up, and 66.6% of the nation, they're going to go through this. And some of the elect, you know, they'll either die or they'll get delivered out of it. I have to say that too. But primarily, this is for the wicked of our people. Right? Verse 3, and I will appoint over them 4 kinds, saith the Lord. The sword to slay, that's right, machine guns, right? You're going to be put in a firing squad, boom, 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 get your brain blown out, boom, right? And the dogs to tear, that's right, animals with sharp teeth and claws, like dogs, like Dobermans, Rottweilers, German Shepherds, right? And the fowls of the heaven, that's right. So the birds, they're going to have a feast on your dead carcass or dead carcasses. And the beasts of the earth, yeah, that's right. Other different creatures, desert-like creatures, and other creatures that he has set up for sore strokes, to devour and destroy. Devour, which means to eat whole, and also just some to destroy, just to rip you apart, right? Just to rip you apart. Some animals are just going to be in the spirit just to kill you and not even eat you. Animals like, I don't eat junk food, but I'll just kill this guy. That's a spirit, man. That's a spirit that the Lord's going to put on them. I don't eat junk food. I don't eat 2/3. You just kill him because he's so wicked, right? I don't eat junk food. And that's all. Hey, and it says the day of the Lord is cruel. That's cruel, man. But there's a reason why he's cruel. Because of your rebellion, man. Right? That's mean, man. That's some mean shit. Yo, the Lord doesn't play. He's not a respecter of persons. Right? He's not a respecter of persons, man. And I hope I don't end up like this. All right, so I'm gonna finish up here. Um, so it says, sick. This is from the Gateway Pundit. Self-proclaimed trans canine OnlyFans model gets fired for posting sex acts with dogs. Obviously, it's an Edomite woman, of course. And you know what? Don't ever trust a woman, especially an Edomite woman that has a dog, right? Especially a dog. Do not trust them. And cats too. Be careful, especially if they're single. Don't trust them, because a lot of these white women and these Edomites, that includes men too. They're known for sleeping with animals. So if you see a white woman with a dog, and she's single and she probably wants to hook up with you, most likely she's sleeping with that dog. Just think twice. I'm not saying you can't hit it, but just think twice. You know what I mean? That's how they are. So it says a model who called herself a trans canine and claimed to have engaged in 6 sexual acts with dogs was fired from her job and banned from the pornographic website OnlyFans. That's right. So she's a trans canine. So she transitioned into a dog now. Right? She transitioned to a dog. Pretty much. So now this whole LGBT, that whole acronym that's associated with that lifestyle, they just make up shit as they go now. Right? So now you can do anything you want. You can be anything you want now. But just remember, guys, you can't have more than one wife in this society. You can't have that, though. I can't have 2 wives, though. But I can be anything I want. Fucking stupid, man. But yeah, it says here, a Twitter user going by the handle, a naughty princess with almost 189K followers, has been tweeting about her alleged disgusting sexual encounters with animals. On January 2nd, she decided to come out as the first trans canine. So she just made that up, telling her followers that she engaged in sex with 6 dogs in the past year and only 2 men. Ugh. I have made a decision to come out. As we know, humans are complicated and intelligent beings. I don't think so. It's not intelligent. We aren't always simple. That's just wickedness. I have been with 6 dogs this past year and only 2 men my entire life. I'm trans canine. I just want friends and a crowd that accepts and loves and cherishes me, she wrote. Blood clot. I have made the decision to come out. As we know, okay, I already read that. Human men can kiss me feet. I am trans canine. I can't have sex with anything that isn't canine. It's actually bestiality for me to have sex with human men. You see that shit? You see how they turn it? Now it's now I don't even know how to explain it, man. That's messed up. But I have a scripture for it. Let's get woe unto them that call evil, right? This is Isaiah chapter 5 and 20. Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. There you go. I have nothing to say. I can't explain that, man. That's what it is. Right? That's what it is. Messed up. But is she doing anything wrong in the sight of man's law? And the answer is no, wherever she's situated. She'll get away with it. Because some countries and states, they actually legalize bestiality. It's legal, right? It's legal to do it. Right? So even over here in Canada, you're allowed to penetrate a cat's behind and sleep with dogs. Right? So, hey, man, I question a lot of you Edomites that are pet owners, man. That's just me because I see the facts. I know what it is. And you have more stuff like this coming out. I don't trust you. Right? I don't trust you, man. Weird, man. Weirdos. So, hey, that's what it is. Now, let me get Job. So it says, Job's present state is humiliating. And this is Job looking at you Edomites, man. Examining you. Job 30:1. But now they that are younger than I have me in derision, whose fathers I would have disdained to have set with the dogs of my flock. And why did he say that? Because you cave people, you Edomites, You were sleeping with dogs, or you were trying to. He didn't want you known. He didn't want you anywhere near his dogs, because you're going to defile them. You know what happens? He's going to have to put you to death, and he's also going to have to put the animal to death. And by the way, there is laws on bestiality in the scriptures, right? You're not supposed to lie with an animal, right? And that also includes you can't lie with the same sex. So there you go. I would have disdained to have sat with the dogs of my flock. Wow. Yea, where too might the strength of their hands profit me, in whom old age was perished. For want and famine they were solitary, fleeing into the wilderness in the former time of desolate and waste, who cut up mallows by the bushes and juniper roots for their meats, right? Juniper roots, those are herbs that you can eat. They're pretty good for you, and that's what the Lord used to keep them alive and preserve them while they were in the wilderness. And that's why if you notice a lot of gin, it's made out of juniper roots. That's all by design by them Edomites, right? So it says they were driven forth from among men. They cried after them as after a thief. That's right. Get out of here, damn devils. Get out of here, you dirty thieves. Because that's what they were, thieves, man. And that's how you should be treated, you Edomites. Get out of here, damn devils. Get out of here. That's how they look at you. So verse 6, to dwell in the clefts of the valleys, in caves of the earth, and in the rocks. That's right. They were cave dwellers. And they're modern day cave dwellers with these apartments and these skyscrapers that they live in. Those are all just caves, man. Right? Those are all just caves. And this is a concrete society. It's a concrete jungle out here. Everything's made out of concrete floors, concrete buildings. What the hell is that? This is modern day Mount Seir all over again. Verse 7, among the bushes they brayed. They didn't even have a language. They were just grunting. That's how they sound. Under the nettles they were gathered together. They were children of fools. Only a fool would do something like this. Fucking fool. Trans-canine. Foolish, man. Stupid. Children of base men. They were viler than the earth. Pieces of shit. Viler than the earth. Low lies, man. They're the lowest humans on the planet Earth. Bible says it, not me. Lord said it. Job said it, not me. Right? Right? You are the basis of men. And guess what? You are in power right now. Doesn't the scriptures talk about Daniel 4:17? You are the basis of men. Daniel chapter 4:17. This matter is by the decree of the watchers and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whomsoever he will, and setteth up over it the basis of men. And you are a base man. You're viler than the earth, and you are in power. And that shows the Lord's power, man. It shows how powerful the Lord is. He can bring a low person that was dwelling in a cave, sleeping with animals, and put them in a business suit and tie, give them a shaver like Gillette, give them speed stick, right? Give them some deodorant and make them look intelligent. Put an assault rifle in their hand and make them look strong. That's what the Lord did, right? And you tribes, man, you should be embarrassed. You should be embarrassed, man. And you other nations, you should be embarrassed, man. This is embarrassing. Goddamn shame. This is a goddamn shame. And it shows you, man, we're in hell. We're in hell. This is bizarro world where everything is turned upside down, pursuing to Isaiah 29:16. Everything's upside down, man. It's crazy. Crazy, man. But you know what? This doesn't make me go insane because I have the truth. I understand why these things are happening. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. So anyway, that's it for tonight. I hope this was a good show. Hope it was edifying. So until next time, just want to give all praises, glory, and honor due unto Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakah HaKodash, and double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well. Peace and salutations on to the hopeful elect, Kwame Ashala and Ababa Bal Shalom.